Hi, student. We would like to continue our chapter, the gooseberries. Ivan Ivanich, the veterinary surgeon, telling the story to his friend Boklin and Alankin about his brother Nikolai Ivanich. So he continued. He used to live in Megarly and never had enough to eat and drink. Yes, I already told. In order to collect money, Nikolai Ivanovich eat very meagerly, drink very meagerly. Dress God knows how. Dress also he is not buy any new dress, exactly like a beggar, and always saved and put his money into the bank. He was terribly stingy. It used to be hurt me to see him, and I used to give him money to go away for holiday, but he would put that away too. Once man gets a fixed idea, there is nothing to be done. Yes, what's a fixed idea? His ambition, Nikolai ambition was to buy estate with gooseberry bush, and he want to open mind, open nature, everything. His uh, wish is too different from that of what Ivan Ivanich. That's why he is saving more money, and also he is very meager to drink, eat, and dress. He's saving money more. That's why he sometimes the brother Ivan Ivanich has used to give some money for to go holiday, but that time he refused to do such kinds of job. Okay, so that means he had a fixed idea. Now a man can change that one. That is he had a fixed idea about it. It is told by Ivan Ivanovich about Nikolai Ivanich. What was the fixed idea? We know that, right? Yes, we continue. Well, years passed. He completed his 14th year and was still remaining advertisements and papers and saving up his money. Then I heard he was married. Nikolai Ivanich was married. What his married life? See, still with the same idea of buying farmhouse with a gooseberry bush. Same like that. He has to follow the same treatment for buying estate, gooseberry bush, or a farmhouse or estate. He buys same like in his married life. He married an elderly, that means a little bit more years, ugly widow, ugly, not out of any feeling. Yeah, not out of any feeling. Yes, that's the difference. Not out of any feeling for her. Yes, that means very wicked look woman he married. He also followed the same policy to buy estate, gooseberry bush and everything. The same life, the same pattern he has to follow in his married life also. With her, he still lives Tigni. Tigni means very differently. Kept her half starved. Half starved means maybe he eat once in a day, not eat other 2 3 times. That means he want to save money and put the money into the bank and his own name. Money, like vodka, can play cute tricks with man. Cure means strange tricks. That means just like a vodka, that's a Russian liquor. Vodka is a Russian liquor. If you drink or drank, we want to we will do some very drastic nature, we will do some drastic steps, drastic activities. Similarly, if you have ambitions more about money, it is just like that of vodka. That means money. If you want to collect money, if you do, you will do anything. If you need money, if you collect money, if you do, you will do, or anybody will do anything because he want money. The money is everything to Nikolai Ivanovich. That's why his life is very cure or a strange one. So that is a very important thing. Is that very important mean money, like vodka, can play cute tricks with man. That means money can change a man, change his man attitude, change his behavior. So sometimes you can see somebody will get more money, suddenly they will change. They will change differently. The family change differently. Their attitude towards others is quite different. This is the things as well. That's the power of money. Similar like that, the power of vodka also same like that one. That's here compared here. Vodka and money both are very drastic. If it is more, if money is more, we are totally changed. If you drink more vodka, we are totally changed. Our habit is totally changed. Our manners is totally changed. our attitude towards the post is quite different. So that's two things here come bad. Very important question. Maybe ask the question. Money like vodka can tricks with a man. What do you mean by that? You must be answer that one. Here said about Ivan Ivanich. Said about his brother Nikolai Ivanich, his Nikolai Ivanich's strange manners and his lifestyle and his married life and his farm life. Everything is here is mentioned. He said. Okay, after the death of his wife, sure. After the death of his Nicholas Ivanich's wife, Ivan Ivanich continuing the story. After a long pause, my brother began to look out for an estate. Yeah, because maybe he got dowry from his old ugly widow woman. Soon the woman already dead. Then he got maybe the property of his ugly woman, I mean his wife. Then he bought an estate. Who bought? Nikolai Ivanich. Through an agent by brother Nikolai, raised a mortgage. Mortgage means loan. He took some loan also and bought 300 acres of farmhouse. So big farmhouse he bought with the loan also, and his previous properties maybe he sell or a loan. And in 100 acres of farmhouse, what are the things he is buy in the estate? That means 100 acres, 300 acres. A cottage is there, and a park is there. But there was no orchard. Orchard means there is no flower garden. Okay. No gooseberry bush. Oh, that's very different. You want gooseberry bush, but there is no gooseberry bush in that buying estate. No duck pond. You want a duck pond also. There was a river, but the water in this coffee color. The river is not clear. It is a brown color. That means coffee color because the estate lie between. There is a brickyard and a gelatin factory. Gelatin factory means protein factory is there, and at the same time brickyard is there. This color is that brick is also in brown. Maybe it is most of the workers used in the river. That's why the river is not clear. Its color is brown. But my brother Nikolai was not worried about that. He ordered 20 gooseberry bush and settled down in the country life. So there is no gooseberry bush, there is no duck pond. That's why he made it artificially in the newly bought estate. So that such kinds of man he was. Okay, he ordered a 20 gooseberry bush and settled down to a country life. That means he decided to settle in village life. Last year, what happened? I paid him a visit. I mean, I visited Nikolai Ivanich Ivan Ivanich visit Nikolai Ivanich's house last year. Then what happened? I thought I would go and see how things were with him. I just want to know what happened, my brother, his married life, his new estate. We want to know more information about him. That's why Ivan Ivanich visited Nikolai house. My brother called his estate, what's that? Chambershaw Corner. That's the name in estate place. Or Himalayas Cove. That's a name also. I arrived at Himalayas Cove in the afternoon, where Nicola estate is there, Nicola house is there. So Ivan Ivanich reached there. I arrived there. It was a hot time. There were ditches. That's been the way there was a ditches. In village, there's no proper road, especially in the way of estate. Ditches, fences, hedges, rows of young fig trees. Trees everywhere, and there was no telling how to cross the yard or where to put your horse. That means at that time Nicola came used to as a horse as a vehicle. So he want to settle this horse because he want to reach in the house of Nicola. That's why he want to settle his horse. But there is no any other place, and also this way of traveling is very difficult. There is fences, hedges, ditches, and rows of young fig tree. It's all. It's not in a convenient way. Okay. and the trees were everywhere. That's why his horse is to rest in some other places. There is no telling how to cross the yard or where to put your house. I went to the house and was met by a red-haired dog. When he entered into the house, you can see, in front of the house, there is a red-haired dog. It just looked like a pig, as fat as pig. Yes, red-haired dog is there. It is look like a pig. That means fatty. He tried to bark but felt too lazy. He tried to bark, but it's a lazy one. The dog is here mentioned. Out of the kitchen came a cook. Cook came barefooted, without food, and also as fat as a pig. The cook also very fatty, just like a pig, with a barefoot, means without shoes, without chapel, and was having his afternoon rest. Yes, but a master is afternoon rest means Nicola is resting. After this lunch time now, maybe. I went into my brother's and found him sitting on his bed with his knees covered with a blanket. He looked old, slouched, flabby. That means first time Ivan Ivanich see his brother Nikolai Ivanich. At that time, Nikolai Ivanich's his figure is mentioned here. He is very look like a old one, stout one. Stout means fatty and short. Flabby. Flabby means is fat. That means fat. കൊഴുപ്പ് കൂടിയ ഭക്ഷണം കൊഴുപ്പ്. Yes, that is flabby. Flabby his cheek. Yes, nose and lips was pendulous. Pendulous means just like a pig nose. Okay, half expected him to ground like a pig. Yes, he's comparing Nicola as just like the look of a pig. After a long time, he saw Nicola is Ivan saw his brother Nicola Ivanich. His figure is now like that, just like a pig, said it. So the picture is Nicola Ivan Ivanich is there in the way of house of Nicola Ivanich. This Ivan Ivanich's picture is this. Okay, well, next paragraph. We embraced and shed the tears of joy. Both of them is embraced together. Shed the tears. They poured tears from his eyes, and also sadness to think that we had once been young, but were now both are grey and nearing death. Both are old now. He dressed and took me to see his estates. After that, Nikolai Ivanich take Ivan Ivanich to show his newly bought estates. Well, how are you getting on? I asked. I means here Ivan Ivanich, because he is telling the story, Then at that time, Nikolai said it. All right, thank God, I am doing very well. The both brothers now talking, their conversation going on. He was no longer the poor, tried official, but a real landowner and a person of consequences. He's not now poor. Who Nikolai is not poor now. He's now landowner. That's it. Yeah. And like a good landowner, he looked after his soul and he did good works pompously. Pompously means just a pride. Never simply what good works. He cured the peasants all kinds of diseases with the soda and castor oil. Castor oil means avanakenna. It's a kind of avanakenna in Malayalam. Yes, it's a kind of oil. And soda, some of the so many peasants are working under Nikolai Ivanich. So Nikolai Ivanich, while conducting party and while take any disease of these peasants, he used soda and castor oil. And on his birthday, he would have a Thanksgiving service held in this middle of the village and would treat the peasants a half bucket of vodka. Yes, he treated his peasants, his laborers, to give half, half bucket of vodka, which he thought the right things to do. These horrible buckets of vodka. Yes. So I don't know what is this, whether it is rich Nikolai Ivanich, whether it is a poor Nikolai Ivanich or miser Nikolai Ivanich. It is Nikolai Ivanich's activities are described by Ivan Ivanich. Well, So many things we can understood Nikolai Ivanich, is it, from the story? Okay, right. But my point, it does not concern him so much as myself. Yeah, so much as myself. But my point, it does not concern him so much as myself. I want to tell you what a change took place in me in those few hours while I was in house. He understood some changes occurs in the house. What was the changes? Let us see. In the evening, while we were having tea, while we means here brothers, Nikolai Ivanich and Ivan Ivanich, they are having tea. The cook laid a plate of gooseberries on the table. Usually, in town we can get the snacks or oily taken snacks or sometimes cookies or biscuits. But here is gooseberries also on the table. They had not been bought, but were his own gooseberries. It is not bought by any, that particular gooseberry is also not from this shop, but from his plants, from his garden. They had not been bought, but from the gooseberries plucked from the first time since the bushes was planted. Okay, Nikolai Ivanich laughed with joy, and for a minute too he looked in silence at the gooseberries with the tears in his eyes. See, here we can understand that Nikolai has cultivated gooseberries and it is plant is splendidly taken, and this gooseberry is now in the house kitchen, in the table of kitchen table in the kitchen house. That's from, and it is on the table, kitchen table now. And while he's saw the gooseberry, his eyes are too much happy, and there comes tears. That means he cultivated and he eating. That's a very good atmosphere according to Nicholas. That means when we cultivated something in the garden or something, after it comes blossom, then we are very happy, is it? Suppose you are cultivating a rose or jasmine or any other plant in your garden, and suppose it comes blossom, very attractive, very good smell, everyone is looking very nicely, then everybody command you, very good, very good. Then what is your feeling? You are very happy, is it? You are proud, and you became a, what is that, something is special for you after others. So here is Nikolai Ivanich is while he has bought his estate, he didn't there is no gooseberry bush, there is no, but after that when he cultivated the gooseberries in that particular estate and it blossom, after it comes very good stage, then now is ready to eat. So when he saw this, Nikolai poured the tears. But others think that, but if the guest comes out, the guest couldn't understand what is, if this tea comes with the gooseberry, how it to take? Is it good one? That is the attitude of others. But Nikolai's attitude is just like this. He cultivated and he's used his product very proudly. That's why he is happy with the TS. He could not speak for excitement, and then put into his mouth, glanced me in time. Time means victory. Like a child that is being given a favorite toy, he said. Here toy is gooseberry and her child is Nikolai. Okay, just like a toy got by a boy, what is his happiness? Similar like that, Nikolai is too much happiness with his gooseberries. Okay, this all understood by Ivan Ivanich. Ivan Ivanich believed that it is not a good one, but Nikolai can say it is so proud of you. How good they are. He went on eating greedily and saying all the while, which one now eating? Gooseberry. How good they are. Do try one. Nikolai compelled Ivan to take a gooseberry, but Ivan Ivanich is not like that, such kinds of snacks. It was hard and sore, but I saw a happy man. Yes, that is a very important sentence. It must be understood. First, the gooseberry is hard and sore, but Nikolai is happy because his life is now fulfilled. Even though he tried to do so many bad things, he has to face so many challenges. He have to face some sadness, disappointed, and happy. But lastly, his life is now happy. He saw that. Who saw? Ivan Ivanich saw the face of Nikolai Ivanich, and Nikolai Ivanich is very happy. Who felt? Ivan Ivanich felt that. Okay. Who had attained his goal in life? A person, Ivan Ivanich, attained his goal, ambition in his life, fulfilled his ambition. Who had got what he wanted. Yes. What are the things he is wish that already now in the hands of Nikolai Ivanich. And also he is very happy now and was pleased with his destiny and with himself. In my idea, human life, there is always some alloy of sadness. Mix. Alloy means mix of sadness. But now, at the sight of a happy man, I was filled with something like a despair. At that time, Ivan Ivanich felt himself is disappointed. That means he didn't get anything. He never married. He is only a job, attorney surgeon, but he never bought an estate. He don't have no too much money. Now he became very old. He could not do anything now. So that's why he is disappointed. Who disappointed? Ivan Ivanich. He felt himself, he is back, he's turned his back. Then he understood that in whole life is a very big zero. But Nikolai life is very happy and he fulfilled all his aim. All right. And at the night, it grew on, still there in the estate. A bed was made up for me in this room near my brother's, and I could hear him. Unable to sleep. That means Ivan Ivanich unable to sleep. Because what is that? He thought that his life is a failure, disappointed. Whereas Nikolai life is a success and he is a happy man in his life. So he can't, that's why he can't sleep. Who can't sleep? Ivan Ivanich. What is Ivan Ivanich believe? Ivan Ivanich believed that his life is completely zero. He didn't get happy. He didn't get family. Now he became very old. He didn't get more money. He didn't get a more farm or estates. In that way, he couldn't sleep. Unable to sleep, going again, the plate of gooseberries. He is thinking about more about that particular gooseberries. I thought, after all, what a lot of contented. Contented means satisfaction. Happy people there must be. What an overwhelming power that means. Overwhelming means strong. What is the secret of happiness? He is now discussing while he couldn't sleep. That time he think about the happiness, secret and power. And okay, and here is that. And to such a state of things, obviously, what we want to do in order to satisfy in our life, what we want to do in order to happy in our life, he's thinking. Ivan Ivanich is thinking while he's without sleep in the house of Nikolai. Apparently, happy man only feels so because the unhappy bear their burden of silence. That means, in front of a happy man, unhappy man is too much burden, too much problems and disappointment, but for which happiness would be the impossible. Yes. So that night, I was able to understand how I too had been contented and happy. Ivan Ivanich went on, getting up. Freedom is boon. Boon means bless. Boon means bless. I used to say, as essential as an air we breathe. But we must wait. Yes, I used to say so. But now I ask, why do we wait? That means sometimes he is thinking like that, which means, who is that? I am happy. He is thinking himself. I am not disappointed. I am a happy man. But at last he understood that exactly he is not a happy man. Who is not a happy man? Ivan Ivanich himself thought that he is not a happy man. So many reasons he can understood he is not happy, but he's thinking and make himself to satisfy. I'm a happy man. Happy is very things. It's a blessed one. If you work hard in the beginning, then you became stay in happy. Really, but here is both are live in differently. That's why one is get happy, other man is not happy. Okay. Ivan Ivanovich glanced angrily at Brooklyn. Story now finished. That's why Ivan Ivanovich glanced angrily at Brooklyn. Why he is angry? Because Ivan Ivanovich still believes that he is not at all happy. So he stopped his story and just looked the listener Brooklyn. Why do we wait? I ask you. What a considerations keep us fast. I am told that we cannot have everything at once and that every idea is realized in time. But who says so? Where is the proof that it is so? Tell me, I say, why should we wait? So some people say that wait. After I became get many things. Then he don't know. That's Ivanovich now thinking himself. How long we are waiting? What is the measurement of waiting? How will we wait and became happy? See, he himself thinking a lot. He now getting mad, just like a madman. That means you have to understand that he is a completely failure in life. Who? Ivan Ivanovich. I felt to my brothers early in the next morning. He couldn't sleep, but in the next morning he wake up, and from that time found it is impossible to live in town. The peace and quiet of happiness me. I dare not look at these windows, for nothing is more dreadful to see than the sight of a happy family. Even in the city, if you have to open his door to the next house, he can see some of the families are sitting together and chatting and laughing and to drink tea and snacks. When Ivan managed to see such kinds of a scene, he became too angry and he felt that he is utterly failure. I dare not look at these windows, for nothing to more dreadful to see than the sight of happy families sitting round the table and having tea. I am an older man now and I am not good for to struggle. Yes, this is all the belief and thought of Ivan Ivanich as a failure man, a disappointed man. I commenced late. I can only grieve, remain sad with my soul, and fret and sulk. At night, my head is burst with the rush of my thought, and I cannot sleep. Ah, if I were young. At that time, you think that I want to become a young, then I will work hard and to earn more money. So, but his time is not waiting. The time is already finished. He is now became old. So such kinds of messages here in this chapter is that if you work hard in this early as a student or as a college or as a school, you work very hard and get more result, you will succeed in your life in the future. If you're lazy, if you're idle, if you're satisfied with your small earning, you can't get more. So such messages here, Caesar. Ivan Ivanich walked excitedly up and down in the room and repeated, if I were young. See, the time is very precious. Now you understood. Yeah, we understood that time is very precious. The days and the ages going on nowadays, is it? We cannot stop it. Yes. He suddenly woke up to a looking and shook him first by one hand and then by other. Pavel Konstantinich, he said to voice of eternity, I don't be satisfied. Don't let yourself to be lulled to sleep. While you are young, strong, wealthy, do not stop to do, is to do good. Happiness does not exist, nor should it. And if there is any meaning of purpose in life, they are not in our peddling, means selling. Peddling is selling lit happiness, but it is sometimes responsible and again do good. That means if your happiness is buying from the shop, you may be, even it may be bought or you're ready to buy. But happiness is depends upon our nature. If what is your work, it is resulted for your happiness. If your work is proper, straightforward, up to date time, then you will get happiness. If your work is not up to date, very late, lazy, goosey, and you are not interested, then you can't buy happiness, you can't get happiness. So Ivan Ivanich is completely failure in his goal or in his happiness because of his lifestyle is quite different. Whereas only he think, who Ivan Ivanich think that Nikolai Ivanich's life is very successful and happy. Then the question will come, sir, what is your opinion about that? Whether Nikolai Ivanich is happiest man? If it's happy, are you agree? Or do you agree? Do you agree with that one? Sorry, do you agree with that statement? Okay, if you are agree, what is the reason? So you must be say about that one. That may be the question will come from outside. That means your own answer you want to write. Okay, then they all these three. See, it means Alokin, Brooklyn, and Ivan Ivanovich sat in the different corners of the drawing room and were silent. Where is the drawing room now? This is Alokin's room. There they're telling the story. Ivan Ivanovich's story had satisfied neither Brooklyn nor Alokin. Alokin and Brooklyn is not satisfied with this story because they like the different story. They don't like these kinds of poor story. They don't like this sad story. They don't like that disappointed story. It was tedious to hear the story of a miserable official who are get gooseberries. They don't like to know the story of gooseberries and tiredness and hard work and miserable. Somehow they had a longing. I mean, they're wishing to hear the speak of a charming people. The beautiful people story they want to hear. They want to hear, especially the woman's story. And the mere fact of sitting in a drawing room was much better than any story. So they don't like the story. They like the story of a prestigious people, honorable people, just like a beautiful, what is that, celebrity people, especially women. That's why they don't like this story. Alokin wanted very much. Alokin wanted very much to go to bed because Alokin wanted to sleep. He had to get up for his work for early, about 2 in the morning, and now his eyes was closing because he's a farmer. He's too much hard worker. He's wake up at 2 o'clock or in order to do the work in the uh, farm. That's why his eyes are a little bit closed. He's automatically need to sleep. However, it is time to go bed, said Brooklyn, getting up, and I will wish you to good night. So Brooklyn and Alokin maybe slept very nicely, whereas Ivan Ivanich couldn't sleep. You think about the gooseberries, think about the estate, you think about Nikolai Ivanich. Alokin said good night and went downstairs and left his guests. Each had a large room with an old wooden bed and carved ornaments. Ivan Ivanich undressed in silence and lay down. God, forgive me. What is that? His words, what you can call this? He felt his mistake, and he say, God, forgive me, a wicked sinner. I am a wicked sinner. Sinner means Pabi. He murmured as he drew the clothes over his head. See, he just want to sleep hardly, so he want to close his blanket on his eyes. The rain still beat against the window all night long. For this, from this first side and the last side, rain has played a very important role in this. So that's things we understood the story, right? Okay, then here's Anton Chekhov. Here is a Russian writer. Do you like the story? Yes. You supported Nikolai Ivanich or Ivan Ivanich? Why you support? You should have to write your own reason. Understood. So that's one of the things. That's gooseberries. That gooseberry also maybe comes the character sketch here is too much question answer. This meaning question answer. These are the question answer. Then essay also review of the story also comes out and character sketch of Nikolai Ivanich, character sketch of Ivan Ivanich maybe come. You should be right. Review of the story means essay. You should have to write everything is there. Write up your write up, review, essay, same word is there. See, all right. So that's the things you must be know that. So many activities also here is there. All right. And the paragraph question is also here. This is exam oriented paragraph question. You should have to know this. All right. So that's the things you should be know. It's a very good story of thanks to Anton Chekhov, but a wonderful story. And should be very careful review of the story or write up of the story, essay of the story surely come. And at the same time, character sketch of this both of them. And at the same time, profile of Anton Chekhov. And at the same time, the outside question, the vodka and the money, and also the outside question was your own view about you supported which person you are supported and why. So these are the questions mainly comes out from the examination. All right, thank you very much to hearing this story. So I think you will hope to write everything. Note. Okay, thanks a lot.